What's up, guys? UFC 272 is this weekend. Covington versus Masvidal. We're here to break down the fights. Starting with the main event, we have Colby Covington versus Jorge Masvidal. What do you think about this fight?
I think Colby clearly wins. Minus 340 might be a bit high for him, but I think he should be a significant favorite regardless. We saw Masvidal get out wrestled. I don't think he can outstrike Masvidal, but I just think the pressure will be too much from Colby.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a very reasonable take on the situation. It's hard to. I don't know. It's weird because, like, on paper, Colby grabs him, takes him down, wrestle fucks him, takes him down again when Jorge gets up, etc. But the more I think about it, and the more I watch like more of their fights, especially like their recent ones, like Jorge is not easy to take down. Jorge is actually quite hard to take down.
My counter argument is that Colby took down Usman. So I mean,
Colby's got like 12
For
shots
like
on him.
like half a second. He took him down for half a second. Let's be real.
because Usman cheated. But I mean, other than that, he took down Usman. He could take down Colby.
I mean, let's be real. That wasn't a real takedown. And second of all, like that's okay. He took him down, but like, who gives a fuck? Like, he didn't do anything. Like, there was no significance to the takedown. It meant nothing. But even Usman, when he took Masvidal down in their second fight, Masvidal got up without too much strength, like without too much struggle. Like, it wasn't too big of a deal. Maybe as the fight goes on later,
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
Pace, it will be harder. But at the beginning, at least for the first few rounds, I don't think Colby's going to be able to just hold him down.
I think that's a good point, especially when you consider that Colby is a lot smaller than Kamaru. I mean, Kamaru's a massive 170er, and even he had difficulties bringing down Masvidal. And Colby, I think, is pretty notoriously a small 170. Like, he doesn't cut a lot of weight, which I think kind of works toward his advantage. Works in his advantage, like in the cardio department.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, when it comes to takedowns, I think it's gonna be difficult for him to take Masvidal down at least early on, right?
Yeah.
Because even in the first fight with Kamaru, like he didn't get those takedowns until like he started, wearing on Masvidal, which I mean, I could see it happening in this fight. I mean, Colby is kind of known for that pace.
So I think Colby's gonna win. I think maybe minus 180 is probably where I'd put him, not minus 340. Favorite, I think he could definitely outpace him. He could definitely take him down. I also think that Usman's plan in that fight wasn't to wrestle fuck Colby. I think his plan was to legitimately just knock him out. Right?
Oh,
just
you mean
so like he might have just, did the takedowns, let him up, make it whatever.
Well,
so that way he could lure him to counter.
That doesn't make sense because he could have just held him to the end of the round and then knocked him out the next round when Jorge was extra worried about the takedown because he knows he can't get up.
Oh,
so
Jorge was always worried for the takedown. It literally happened in the first minute of the fight.
I mean, Colby's obviously like the favorite for a reason. I mean, just the Usman measuring stick shows you that. But I don't know. Jorge has like Colby's really good, but Colby is untested against like elite. Like, let's be real. When you look at like the most impressive thing he's done is give Kamaru 2 very competitive fights.
He finished Woodley,
with an
rib injury. Yeah, I mean, sure.
Then like that was Woodley in the middle of a 4-fight losing streak, like in between losing to Burns and Luque. Like, it wasn't the Woodley that fought Wonderboy a couple times. Like, it wasn't that Woodley.
I think I will give Masvidal credit. He did win on one of the judges' scorecards against Usman, so he's definitely a way, way, way better striker than Colby.
He won the first round on a scorecard.
Yeah, so I could see that, but I just think if this ever goes into deep waters, I see Colby destroying him, which it inevitably will, because Colby's got a good chin, man. I don't think Masvidal's knocking him out.
But the thing is, I think Masvidal has good cardio too. I don't think it's like Colby cardio, but like he could go into the deeper waters and
he'll still be throwing power shots. He's not like Conor or Fiziev with like those fast, quick muscle fibers where like when they go, like it's not the same. Like he has good cardio and he's not like that fast twitch guy. Like he doesn't have that same amount of power. He's just a solid striker with some good hands.
I mean, how many times have we seen him go 5 rounds? Once against Usman. and then once against what's his face. He won 4 rounds against Diaz, or was that 3?
No, that was
That
3. But
was-
I mean, like he was
Beat,
punching
he
bag.
literally beat the shit out of Diaz for 3 rounds. Like, just kept the pace the whole time. Like, he was just beating the shit out of him, like for 3 whole rounds. Like,
Maybe I'm being too hard on Masvidal.
I guess the thing is like
he went
But
5
I guess
rounds
the
with
thing is,
Benson.
like,
He went 5 rounds with Benson Henderson. He lost a split decision to Benson Henderson 5 rounds. That was 2015. So he's gone 5 rounds before. Plus, he had Strikeforce title fights. Yeah, he went 5 rounds with Gilbert Melendez for the Strikeforce title, 2011. So he's
So-
definitely got the
but,
KO to go 5
I mean,
rounds.
yeah, but I kind of agree with Lenza where I like you could see like Colby take advantage. Like Masvidal has been outgrappled before. Like I think Damian Maia had like a lot of success against Jorge Masvidal in the grappling department. Actually,
That's a good fight to bring up, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say though, like it's also like it's weird. Masvidal's grappling has been continuously getting better, even though he's in like his later 30s. Like he's in, it's
Well-
like his grappling has looked better with every fight. Like I'm not even like I'm not
Yeah.
a big fan of the guy, but it does. Like he's actually improving his grappling.
I just
Obviously not going to be Colby's level, but I think he'll be able to. I think he'll be able to defend himself very well, at least for the first few rounds, like from the takedowns.
maybe I am leading too much to Masvidal's past, but he's a guy known for losing decisions. You know?
That's the
Yeah.
thing. Like I'm refraining from just saying I'm going to pick Masvidal because I don't think he's going to win. I'm just saying like Colby minus 340. I'm going to stay away from that.
Well, I agree. Or like that Colby's too much of a favorite because I could see Masvidal catching him or just outstriking him, and then Colby goes for a desperation takedown, gets denied, then finished.
With
You
knee
know?
in the face.
yeah. I mean, the thing is, Colby, like, I mean, Masvidal's fast, and if Kamaru can catch him, like, Masvidal could definitely catch him in the chin.
That's
but
true.
I mean, but then that being said, like, yeah, I could totally see a fight where, like, Colby just like presses him up against the fence, like takes him down a couple of times, and like that's the fight.
Yeah. And I mean, Colby's also, I think he's a more technical striker than Kamaru Usman. Like he incorporates kicks, he incorporates more into his game rather than just straight up boxing. So he'll give him at least some different look than Usman did.
No, Colby's definitely a respectable striker, but like I mean, Jorge is going to land the bigger shots of the two. Like there's no argument there. So
Yeah.
Okay.
well,
right.
let's general predictions, bets, thoughts, summaries. I'll just say I do not feel like picking a winner for this fight just because the person I think will win is just too much of a favorite in my opinion. So I like will the fight not go the distance? It won't. Or will the fight go the distance? No, that's even money right now, plus 100. I think with two people that hate each other as much as this, they want to finish. Masvidal especially. Masvidal will not be satisfied with a decision. I don't think Colby will be either. I don't think Colby will be satisfied with like giving him a wrestle, like a hugging for 25 minutes. I think Colby, if he does take him down, he's going to try and beat the shit out of him while he's on the ground.
I think that's a fair assessment, but I honestly don't think this will be like a blood feud where they just punch each other. They're both smart, right? They're selling the pay-per-view for what they can, which is
On one hand, that's true. On the other hand, they fucking hate each other.
why Colby would be comfortable with just out wrestling the journeyman, as he calls him. So
I don't know, bro. I think Jorge fucking hates him passionately, and I think Colby definitely feels that resentment too, because I think he feels like they both feel like they kind of turned their back on each other. So
I don't know. He didn't try to do anything special against Usman, in their second fight, so I could see this being similar.
Like him and Kamaru didn't have a personal beef. Like him and
I mean,
Jorge were best fucking friends for
remember
years.
what he told him after thing, it's all love, bro. Get that bag. I could see him doing that same thing.
That was because he doesn't hate Kamaru. Like, well, that's the thing. Colby might not hate Jorge that much, but Jorge can't fucking stand Colby.
I think Usman.
Jorge passionately hates him.
Masvidal is putting on a persona, but regardless of whether we think the beef is real, I think Colby's going to win. I'm betting him on the money line, actually, because we have a rule where you had to bet on the main event, and I don't know whether he's going to win via decision. Sorry, finish Colby. Go on, I'm joking.
You're about to choke.
I don't know.
I was gonna ask, did you guys see the interview with Dan Lambert? I was gonna just point out real quickly, like if you guys watched the half-hour interview Dan Lambert did, I think that will confirm to you that this is not some kind of fight promotion.
Yeah,
Like
I watched
he
part of
kicked
it.
them both out of ATT for almost fighting each other inside of the gym.
Yeah, but I think if
Because they couldn't stop talking about each other. That's why. Because they couldn't stop talking about each other. He kicked them both out for a while. So
I actually think that if you like Colby personally, if you like Colby, I would bet him by decision. I don't see Colby finishing Masvidal. I mean, Masvidal's tough as fuck. Like yeah, like I definitely don't see like Colby like TKOing him or anything like that. And submission, I don't see that either. So
I could see Colby like putting him on the ground, flattening him out, and then
and just
pounding him.
kind of
yeah,
like
exactly. Islam
So,
Bobby, exactly where you're not doing some crazy amount of damage, but the guy's just he has nothing for you. He's just getting beat up type shit.
Yeah, that's kind of what I could see as a TKO. Maybe he slams him again because Woodley's a big boy, and he slammed Woodley. So I could
yeah,
see this similarly happening. Like, I don't think it's likely, but I'm not about to like. Last week taught me Islam by submission. We were so confident, and then Islam ruins our
yeah. I
lives.
feel like everybody was that did teach me a little bit. That did teach me too, where like a TKO is always possible, even if like submission is.
I said going in, I was like, bro, like, he could just like I'm scared of betting. I bet it anyway, but I was scared because I know like you could just like he could have the position for the submission and just punch him in the head instead.
Yeah, so I could see that happening. But yeah, no, I'm just gonna take Masvidal on the underdog plus 250. I think that's just good. I
Plus,
don't really know how it's plus 250 on FanDuel or on what's it DraftKings.
then get plus 260.
Oh yeah, plus 260 on FanDuel. Okay, yeah, never mind. All right,
Those
yeah,
are
I like it
insane
at plus
odds.
260 at in FanDuel. I just I just feel like there's not a lot of that like I feel like they're respecting Covington way too much on the gambling lines. I just feel like Masvidal is a good value bet there. I don't
Yeah,
know exactly how the fight's gonna play out, but I mean, I could see Masvidal catching him, or it could be like some like war that Masvidal could win. So
yeah, I agree. I think that's sound logic. He's a great value bet. Plus 250 is way too much of an underdog.
yeah,
Okay, so we all have kind of differing.
yeah. All right, let's go to the co-main event. Rafael dos Anjos versus Renato Moicano. A late replacement fight. RDA was supposed to fight Fiziev. Fiziev pulled out from COVID. Now it's Moicano. So it's
So
at 160, 5-round fight.
a couple of things about this. I think we should relinquish RDA's like he won't duck anybody's title because Islam challenged him. He said yes on Twitter. Then he backed to take a way easier fight. So I think we
Yeah,
should
but
put
is
that
it?
away.
I wonder if, but then
Is
like
that
ultimately it's like
RDA
a
or is that
UFC.
UFC?
Yeah, that's the thing. Is it like the UFC, or like the UFC could just be like, no, Islam, sit down. You're gonna get the next title shot. We don't want you to fight like just
We
RDA
don't know.
randomly.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what if some shit like just that makes no sense?
We admitted in chat that like RDA would have no chance against Islam. But at least this fight he
Yeah,
wins, I think.
Yes, I would. I mean, this is. I would have loved to see Islam just do it, just to. I mean, just because like there's so much contention on Islam about Islam online from people who don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. And they're like, he hasn't beat anybody, and it's like, okay, first of all, like Armin is somebody, even if he was young. Dan Hooker is somebody, and second of all, like he's tried to fight multiple top 5 guys who've pulled out, and those two guys, the RDA and Benil, he would destroy. Like those guys that people think are like like he'll just smash them. Like there's very few people in the division who can pose problems for Islam, and Benil and RDA are not those fucking guys. Like they're just not at the end of the day. So I
What
would have loved
about
to
this fight
get it,
though?
but this fight, I feel a similar way where I think I just think RDA is just better. Like Moicano has consistently struggled against like the top guys in the division, back at featherweight especially. I remember I know we lost to Aldo, I think, which
yeah,
I mean, no shame in that. But he also lost to I think Zombie. If my memory, I gotta pull
And
the
yeah.
record.
He lost to
He,
Zombie, and then
he's
he got
just
knocked out by Fiziev.
Yeah, he got knocked out. I think he just struggles against the best guys. Like when you look at his record, like he has a win over a younger Cater, a split decision with Jeremy Stevens, Cub Swanson. But then when he gets to guys like Ortega, Aldo, Fiziev, Zombie, like he doesn't. He
Um,
hasn't performed well, and especially considering that RDA has been in camp preparing for a fight. Now he has to cut even a little bit less weight. Like I think RDA minus 188 is a very valuable pick.
um, I think RDA is too battle tested. I think RDA fighting at 170 now, having to cut less weight. He's beat welterweights now. He doesn't have to cut much weight. He's fighting Moicano, he's good. Don't get me, but he's not going to be at the level of RDA. RDA can, if he hits grappling, RDA is going to win. RDA also has some decent hands there. Probably not as good as Moicano, to be honest, but I think he can definitely just big brother him, to be honest. Yeah, pretty much everything.
I'm
So
actually I'm actually gonna disagree a little bit with you guys. I kind of like Moicano in the spot. The only thing that gives me pause is that it's a 5 round fight and Moicano has 4 days notice. It's for coming out, and like I don't think Moicano has ever been in a 5 rounder before. So that kind of that's kind of weird. Like for me, this is stay away. Like I'm not gonna touch this one. But I mean, I was really impressed by Moicano's last fight against Alexander Hernandez, which was only a couple weeks ago.
yeah,
Um, I thought he showed great hands in that fight. Ended up knocking Hernandez down and submitting him. I like his ground game. I like his stand up. I think he's pretty fast. So
yeah.
I
I
don't
think
know.
I was gonna say, I mean, my response to that is Alexander Hernandez is quite mid. Um,
um
he
yes.
never impressed me much. I think he's kind of He's very underwhelming, I would say, especially because
I,
he talked all this shit before the Cowboy fight just to get destroyed, and then since then he fucking trades wins and losses.
I think with Hernandez, I think
Value.
mid's a good word. He's not bad. He's good. I think that Renato or Moicano definitely could beat RDA in the feet, but he's not going to knock out RDA. He's just
No,
not. He's
just
not
like already.
on the ground. RDA is just too big, to be honest. Like, he's a really respectable wrestler. He has a lot of experience. If we look at the grapplers RDA's lost to, the worst one is Michael Chiesa. Before that, it's Usman, Covington, and I guess Tony Ferguson, if you could, and Habib, and those are the worst grapplers he's lost to.
Yeah.
So I just don't think Moicano. I, I I don't think he's good enough. Is all.
I agree completely. I think RDA as a parlay piece has a lot of value.
Yeah, I think parlay too.
All right. What's the next fight? I think is it
Bryce
Doug
Mitchell and Edson.
Nancy? Yeah. All
Ooh,
right. Yeah. Edson Barboza versus Bryce Mitchell. Great fight in the
it's a
featherweight division.
tough one for me.
Very tough.
Ugh.
I
What do you
think
think?
it's a classic striker versus grappler, right?
Well,
Basically, like Bryce Mitchell wants to get it to the ground and go for submission. Edson's super technical, super good kickboxer. I just feel like I don't think the move down to featherweight was a good decision for Edson Barboza.
really?
I mean, no, I don't. Like, I mean, so he lost to Giga Chad. Before that, he beat Burgos, but I don't know. I think at some point, like size advantage for like a really skilled striker isn't necessarily a good thing, right? Like
Me or is that?
when you go, sorry, what?
Oh no.
I,
Okay, never mind. It's probably just me. Go on.
yeah. Anyways, yeah, I just think that um, like the guys at featherweight are just faster and yeah, they're just faster and in general, I think more skilled than at 155.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so I don't know. I think it's tough. I like Bryce Mitchell in the spot. I think like Makwan Amirkhani was able to take down Edson Barboza, and I think Bryce Mitchell is a superior grappler to him. So I think Mitchell will be able to get it to the ground and probably get a submission.
Um,
Couple
like,
things.
go for it, Armor.
He is a very respectable grappler. Makwan is a very respectable grappler. Second of all, like Bryce Mitchell, like he's fought nobody. Like,
Well, I mean, he's fought good people. Like he's. Well, I'll let you finish.
And
I'm
he's
not
also a
gonna.
prospect.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like he's like comparatively, like obviously, like he's not supposed to fight that good of people yet, but he hasn't fought anybody. Like Edson's a lot more tested. Edson's been like, I mean, the fight that comes to mind obviously is like Edson just getting mauled by Habib on the ground, but Habib is Habib. So besides that, like Edson doesn't really get He doesn't get wrestled.
Took him down. Kevin Lee took him down and beat him up.
That's true.
Well, I mean, Kevin Lee's a lot bigger though.
Bigger. Missed weight. I think he missed weight in that fight also. And that took. I think there wasn't a 5th round stoppage. Like Kevin Lee, it took him a while. Like I don't know if Bryce Mitchell has the. This will be Bryce. Like I don't know. I think that I almost want to stay away. Like this is kind of a stay away fight for me because I really like. It's just such a.
Well,
if Bryce Mitchell is as good as we think he might be, like then he should be able to take Edson down and maul him. But like I don't know if he is. I don't feel comfortable saying he is just based on the people I've seen him fight. Like I just don't make that assessment.
This was a very tough fight for me because I actually agree and disagree with you guys in both different aspects. I think that Edson Barboza's move down to featherweight was the best thing he could have done because just looking at that lightweight division now, I don't even know if he's ranked.
No, lightweight destroys him right now.
Yeah,
I don't think so. I mean, like him against like Fiziev, I think that's a good fight.
I think Fiziev is just a better version of him at this point. You know, I think he's just got too much damage at that point. But okay, so he's competitive, right?
The only person he could beat is Tony Ferguson because Tony Ferguson shouldn't be ranked.
Conor.
Like,
yeah, I think he destroys Conor.
No, Conor. I think Conor would beat up Edson right now.
Actually, Conor video.
We don't know. But okay, so even if we say Conor and Tony, who are both likely overranked because they're kind of washed, like there's no one else in this top 15 he beats. Like he should be.
Competitive fight with Fiziev is fair enough, but I think Fiziev takes it.
No, I think if it's a 3-rounder, I think Fiziev wins handily.
Yeah, and at 145, I think Barboza's right where he should be in a top 10. You know, I could even say make potentially not top 5 because Calvin Kattar will destroy him. He'll just pressure him. But he's right where he should be. You know, he's ranked, competitive fights. He could win this fight just by outskilling Bryce Mitchell on the feet there, like completely there. Bryce Mitchell isn't bad on the feet, but we know how good Barboza is. We all know how good he is. But and here is my confessions for this audience here. Whenever I go on a date and I show my date some UFC because that's what you got to do. That's how you get everybody. I show them a few fights. One of them is actually Charles Rosa versus Bryce Mitchell. Because that fight is an example where there's no strikes thrown, and Bryce Mitchell just absolutely destroys him on the ground. And I kind of see that fight happening here, where I think Barboza might get pressured, and Bryce Mitchell will just be on him like a leech. And I don't know if he'll submit him, but I think he'll get damn close to it. So this is really tough, but I think Bryce Mitchell will ultimately take this fight. This is probably a stay away, like Dermer said, but ultimately Bryce Mitchell for me, he's gonna submit him, take him down. But I won't be surprised if Barboza just hits him in the liver or spinning wheel kicks him. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an easy fight to break down. It's like, can Bryce Mitchell consistently take down Edson Barboza? Yeah. And if yes, then he wins. If no, then Edson wins.
Well, I think that's a good breakdown. But Barboza doesn't do good under pressure. We know this. And I think Bryce Mitchell puts on the pressure, you know, so that's another reason.
Yeah, but I think Bryce Mitchell's stand-up is quite sketchy. So
yes,
I think even if it does stay on the feet, like no matter what, Edson's winning.
But pressure could also be with threatening the takedown, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. All right, let's move now. Shot? Sorry, what?
Oh wait, you win first. Never mind.
Yeah, pick Bryce Mitchell.
Okay, same.
Probably Bryce. I'm not betting though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Next fight, we have Kevin Holland versus Alex Oliveira. This is Kevin Holland's first fight at welterweight. He's dropping down from middleweight. What do you guys think about this one?
I think that Alex Oliveira, tough as nails, amazing, especially for someone so. I always think he's really old just looking at him, and that's really unfair.
Yeah, he looks really old. Really old.
Like every time I'm like, man, this 40-year-old veteran is showing the boys how it's done. But I look at his age and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, he's 34.
He's been so long too. Like
he's been in the UFC for a hot minute.
He's been in the UFC since we all started watching all the time, which was like around 2015, which is when we like really started watching. That's when I got you guys into it because I was kind of like watching before that. That's when we all got into it together. And since then, this motherfucker has had Oh my God. 4 fights in 2015, 4 fights in 2016, 3 in 2017, 3 in 2018, 2 in 2019, 3 in 2020, 2 in 2021. Like he's always there.
Maybe we should
Yeah.
pick him for our winners parlay, you know? But
No.
Kevin Holland, I think, is just younger, more skilled. If he goes to the ground, Kevin Holland could do a good job of not getting submitted, I think. He's proven that. So, and his cardio is
Well,
actually pretty damn good, all things considered, honestly.
Definitely. So I mean, let's just be real. Like this is a pretty simple one to call. Like Alex Oliveira is kind of the guy who loses to the guy that you want to promote. Like that's kind of what he does. Like he just he does. That's what he does. um, um,
yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, I think even the fact that they booked this
it's,
matchup, I mean, it's pretty clear that they kind of want to give Kevin Holland sort of like a gimme fight to
exactly.
as he goes down to welterweight.
It's just a great matchup for him. Like Oliveira is not super dangerous in any aspect. Like he could take him down, but if he does take him down, Holland should be able to get up. And Oliveira isn't super dangerous. That he's liable to. He's not like fucking Islam on the ground where you got to watch your arm at every second.
Mhm.
It's a really good matchup for Holland. I think I don't think there's any way you pick against him unless you really fucking hate Kevin Holland.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
Yeah,
unless
I
you got,
mean,
you
I
got
guess
Kevin
the thing
Holland,
is like
it's
the thing I
obvious.
guess would the thing I guess that um would give me pause is the fact that it's like Kevin Holland's first fight at welterweight in a long time. Like I
Mhm.
don't he has fought in welterweight before, but not in the UFC, and he's really big. Um, so we kind of have to see how that weight cut goes. But aside from that, yeah, I don't see like Oliveira giving him any problems.
Well,
He's a lot older. He's slowing down.
he's 5 years
Um,
older. I think he just looks really old, and we're
well, in terms of like he has like a lot of mileage.
He's older.
He
He's
has
got
a
a lot
ton of mileage.
because even when Calvin Holland fights, like he's got like even he doesn't take much damage. Like
Yeah.
that's fair. Um, so I think that I will say this will be a good fight. Cowboy Oliveira always brings it though. He had a good fight with Nico Price, had a good fight with Randy Brown while it lasted. You know, he always has really good fights. So this is still a fight to watch, as in enjoy it. But I think Kevin Holland's a clear choice here.
Yeah. I think Kevin Holland submits him, actually.
Submits him? What? Really?
Yeah.
Why do you say submits? I'm surprised. Why not KO?
I think I could see a situation where like Oliveira goes for a takedown kind of like against Rachmanov, or like where like Holland has him wobbled and he kind of goes for like a shitty takedown, and then Kevin Holland like guillotines him. That's kind of what happened in the Rachmanov fight. I'm kind of basing it off that. And also like Oliveira has a lot of submission losses. So
I think Rockfamad is very different than Kevin Holland. I could maybe see Kevin Holland wanting to prove he doesn't suck at grappling. But
I
that's
mean
the
he has
only
a
way.
black belt allegedly.
Well, he does a good job of not getting hurt. I'll say that, which is probably
Yeah.
the smartest thing to do when you are on the ground. You know.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Any other?
Yeah, I think we all like Kevin Holland here, which means he will lose, by the way, because that's what always happens.
the hell's
Damn.
on
All
Okay.
right. Serghei Spivac versus Greg Hardy. Why this fight is on the main card instead of like Marina Rodriguez versus Yan Xiaonan, I don't know. But
I am
Heavyweight. Well,
I'm at a loss for words about that, but all right, here we
yeah,
go.
what do you guys think? I think I mean, this could be a fun fight. Um,
um,
Um, it can be fun. Greg Hardy fights tend to be fun. I think like I don't like Greg Hardy's just not very good. Like he's not bad. He's fun to watch. He has good fights. He's fun. Like he's put in work. He's a late bloomer. You know, he started very late. It's impressive that he's got this, but he's just not that good. Um, and I think it will be fun while it lasts. But I mean I think the line kind of reflects the consensus opinion that Sergey is just better. Greg Hardy does a lot of stupid shit. And you
I
can't do
agree. He does
you
a lot of stupid shit. He does do a lot of stupid shit.
stupid ass shit, and you can do stupid ass shit against people who like the prelim motherfuckers, but you can't do stupid shit against guys who should have a ranking next to their name. So
so
I I would assume that Greg Hardy does something stupid and loses, but I'm also probably gonna stay away from this just because heavyweight and hit hard, knockout shit.
so I think this is again an example. Well, maybe not to the extent of like the other fights, but I could see this being like Greg Hardy just gasses really early because that's a big problem he has. The only times I haven't seen him gas are against people that he should probably beat anyways, like Jorgen De Castro, Maurice Green, Juan Adams. But when he goes against a
Yeah.
decent, well, it might be not decent ranked, like Tai Tuivasa, Tabora, Volkov, he just gets beaten. And well, let's be fair, Tai Tuivasa, number like 4 in the world right now. We apologize, Tuivasa, for
Yeah, it turns out Ty's really good.
yeah, he could 2 fights away from a title shot now. But I just think that Serghei Spivac, I think I could just see him outlasting Greg Hardy, That's as simple as that. He loses to Tom Aspinall. He lost to Walt Harris. I mean, getting knocked out by those two, not a bad life.
Yeah. So actually, at first glance, I really liked Serghei Spivac in the spot, especially when you think about Greg Hardy's last couple fights. I mean, knocked out by Tai Tuivasa, knocked out by Tabura. And the Tabura one was really bad because he basically showed that he had no ground game whatsoever, right? Because that was the one where he was beating Tabura in the first round, and then he got taken down, and like he literally just laid there and got like ground and pounded. But I think Greg Hardy's stand up is actually really good. I mean, just the fact, I mean, he did crack Tai Tuivasa, right? That did happen before he got knocked out, and then actually he was tuning up Tabora as well in the first round, before he got taken down in the second.
Mhm.
I think like Greg Hardy's obviously just a better athlete. I think his striking is actually really good. It's improving in every fight, and I think he's actually kind of hard to take down. Tabura did it. I don't know if Spivac has the same takedowns as Tabura does. And then like on Spivac's side, he looked really bad in his Tom Aspinall fight. I mean, he basically did nothing and just got knocked down in the first round. And then he.
No,
Sorry,
go
go
for
ahead.
it. No,
I
go
was
for
gonna
it.
say, like, and then against Olenek, like he like him and Olenek were having a competitive stand-up fight, which is not good because Olenek is like 44 years old and really slow and a jiu-jitsu guy. I think Serghei Spivac's striking is really sus, and I just see a world where Greg Hardy knocks him out in the first round. I like Greg Hardy as an underdog here at plus 170.
I think that's a valid reason to do that. I just don't like his cardio. He's like huffing air every fight. Whenever he fights against somebody, whatever. Like he gasses hard is the main problem. He actually lost the fight because he took steroids in the middle of a fight.
Oh yeah, the inhaler.
Yeah, the inhaler.
The
He's like,
inhaler
I
game.
can't.
Yeah, that was bad. That was bad.
So he has power. If he could like maybe Ngannou himself and be a little bit more, conservative with his cardio, then sure.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's improving. I feel like he's still improving. I mean,
Yeah, of
he
course,
did
yeah.
go to the game late. So I see those as learning experiences for him. Yeah, his cardio is still like very sus to me, but
And well,
I can see him getting it done.
well, I think that's the main reason is because Sergey Spivak fought against Carlos Felipe. Maybe you didn't think he'd hear, but Carlos Felipe has an insane pace whenever you see him fight.
Mm-hmm.
And if he could keep up with Carlos Felipe, I mean, I don't see Greg. Maybe Greg already definitely has more power than Carlos Felipe, but I just think that Sergey Spivak's cardio will ultimately win, is all. But I think Greg Hardy's a good, value bet.
I mean,
Like him
I'm
as an
leaning.
underdog.
I was gonna say I'm leaning Spivak, but like I said, like this is just not something I would put money on.
Marina
Oh, okay.
versus
For Marina Rodriguez versus Xiaonan, this is a really good fight.
I like this fight. I mean, this is like a number one contender fight, and they're
Mhm.
sticking it in the prelims.
Yes, first of all, this should be on the card, so I don't even care about what order the prelims are on. This is the fight we'll talk about next.
So
Yeah, this isn't even in the main event of the
No,
prelims.
yeah,
This is retarded.
it's unfathomable. So whatever. It's
I
it's
think this is a really good fight. I like this fight a lot.
I do
it
too.
it is a really good fight, but like unless it's like a title fight, people don't really give a shit about women's MMA. So
And I
like
think
it's
that
unfortunate. I love it, but like it's the true reality we live in.
Rod Rodriguez will have a really fun fight with Xiaonan, but I think that Rodriguez is just a complete package. I see her as the next number one contender. Um,
Agree
She can
wholeheartedly.
strike, she can grapple. I think I actually picked her to be a champion by the end of the year, if I'm not mistaken. Her and maybe Carla Esparza to be champion. And then Xiaonan Yan is really good, and this is definitely recency bias, and Carlos Esparza, best wrestler in the division by far. But seeing what she did to Xiaonan Yan, that was a very, how do I put this, uncomfortable thing to see, because it was very
but I mean, that being said,
Xiaonan
Marina's not going to take her down, right?
Yan.
Like
But
it's a stand-up fight.
So though,
Yeah, that wasn't fun to watch. She got pounded to oblivion, right, in that fight.
Yeah, you could probably. I think she got really battered. So
Yeah. No, this is a fun fight because like they're both like just stand-up fighters, and I see this being like a really high volume fight where at the end it's like both fighters have like over 100 significant strikes landed, type of deal. I think Marina Rodriguez is rightfully the better striker. She has like really good power for a women's strawweight. Like she actually has knockouts. But I think she's a really heavy favorite, and I don't understand it. Like,
really,
yeah. So what is it, like minus 280? I don't get it. Yan Xiaonan's a really good striker, really active as well, and I can see this being like a split decision type of fight, and like I can see it being where like it's like the fight's over, 3 rounds, and like we kind of feel like Marina won. Like actually we're like pretty sure Marina won, but like we just feel like, but it's just like the fact that the judging is so bad that you could totally see them giving it to Yan in some way. And in that type of situation, I don't want to be betting someone minus 280. I don't know. I think this fight's gonna go decision, and I think there's gonna be a lot of strikes thrown on both sides. So,
I kind of agree with that. I think Marina is still she's better everywhere, and she should win. But like I could definitely see your point that like Yan could keep like the volume up and make it so close that like going to a decision, you never know.
yeah. Like if it's like 40 strikes each, like every round, but like
Or like
Marina is kind of like edging it out.
It's like doing better. Like the judges can always fuck that up. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I still have faith in her, especially like how she dealt with Mackenzie Dern. I thought that was very impressive.
So I think that you bring up a really good point with Jan's volume, because Yan definitely has a lot of volume in the people she fights. But I also think that Marina just fought better competition, to be honest. So like her best win is Claudia Gadelia, right? Like Xiaonan. Before that, Karolina Kowalkiewicz.
Carolina,
and I like her, former #1 contender, but she's just not the same person she was. She shouldn't be fighting anymore. And then Angela Hill is a solid fighter, but she's maybe the George Masvidal of strawweight, where she just manages to lose split decision. She might have won. So
the judges hate Angela Hill. It's pretty crazy.
So I just think Marina Rodriguez, Mackenzie Dern, Michelle Watterson, Amanda Ribas, Cynthia Calvillo, Tisha Torres, Randa Marcos. These are all really good fighters, and I think it's just more tested than Xiaonan Yan.
Yeah.
So
I think the power is the difference. Like I think Marina has a lot of power, and Yan is pill hands. So
yeah, that's fair.
I think Rodriguez should win, but
do you think she'll get a knockout at all?
No, I think this is gonna go decision.
That's fair.
I think Marina's a good parlay piece for sure.
Yeah, but I'm really looking forward to this fight. That's definitely the best fight in the prelims, and better than a lot of the main card fights. I like Mariya Agapova versus Marina Moroz. I think that's interesting. Mariya Agapova, infamously known to be on the wrong side of the worst upset ever, I think, right?
Against Shannon Dobson.
Yeah.
I remember.
She was dominating her. Yeah, she was dominating her, and then just totally gassed out and lost to Shayna Dobson, which is a really bad loss to have on your record. But
Horrendous.
she bounced back in her last fight against Sabina Mazo and dominated her, knocked her down and submitted her. So I think she kind of got that under control, like that, like the going too hard and gassing out mistake. I think she kind of figured that out. Hopefully,
She is really, really good. And this shouldn't influence my personal opinion, considering we just talked about Greg Hardy earlier. But Mariya Agapova is such a mess in her personal life; it's insane.
is she? I don't know anything about it.
I think she's known around like for being like a gym bully, amongst other things, and like maybe having issues. Well, I'm not gonna say that I'll get a suit on this podcast, but
No one's listening to this. Or like
well,
two, like
dude, we got at
10
least 8
people.
fans. Everybody, we're on the road to 10 subscribers.
Yeah.
But she just has an interesting personal life, let's say.
Okay.
And I'm gonna actually go. I don't know anything about Marina Moroz, but she's Ukrainian, so let's go with her.
I agree.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I like Mariya as a parlay piece. If she doesn't have like that retarded blow your whole wad in the first round shit go on, I think she wins the fight handily. So
Okay.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
a fun.
I believe you are more educated in this fight, so I'm just gonna choose my uneducated opinion.
all right. Yeah. What else you guys want to talk about?
I think Brian Kelleher versus Umar Nurmagomedov is interesting because Brian Kelleher is actually he's really, really good. He's like the gatekeeper of the bantamweights, and when you're a gatekeeper for especially the bantamweights, I mean that should say something.
Yeah.
And why they're giving Umar Nurmagomedov him. Umar is really, really good. He has insanely fast kicks as well. He has most of his things by submission, but he's a well-balanced fighter. I think this is meant to showcase him because if you beat Brian Kelleher, you're pretty much gonna be ranked very, very soon.
I don't know much about either fighter, but for Umar to be minus 750 seems a little crazy to me.
Too much. I agree.
That seems a
I
lot.
it definitely is. I mean, Umar's definitely better. Umar definitely should be the favorite, but like that's a bigger favorite than Islam against Dan Hooker on short notice, which I think is crazy.
So, since you guys don't know much about the legend that is Brian Kelleher, he he has a so you know how Dustin has the best guillotine in MMA? Well, actually it's Brian Kelleher. Brian Kelleher is really good. And when you look at his record too, his losses are to Marlon Vera, John Lineker, Montel Jackson, Cody Stamen, and Ricky Simone. He beats everybody else. And he's been around for years. So he's definitely the gatekeeper of the division.
Hmm.
Yeah, so this is a real test.
Has he got more than has he got a single guillotine in his UFC career? Because if that's so, then he has a better one than Dustin.
Yeah, he has a guillotine against Ray Rodriguez.
I know he has a better. My point is that anybody who can use a guillotine has a better guillotine than Dustin. Like Dustin's guillotine is the biggest myth in like MMA history.
Yeah, so if you look at his record, actually, if you just go to the share dog, everybody, and then you'll see, let me count this. 1, 2, 3, what is this? That's a rear naked choke. 4, 5, 6, 7, I think.
He has a
Yeah.
shit ton of guillotines, actually.
Yeah,
There you
so
go.
like I told you, like he's a legend, in his own right. He's what's the Jim Miller of 135. So
All right.
Umar has Habib in the corner, and he has the last name. So the line is.
are they actually related?
Who
I
knows? I mean, you have that last name there. Everyone's
yeah,
gonna
no,
bet you.
Habib and Habib covers him though, so they're in the same camp and everything.
Really, everybody listening to this here, we gotta change our name to Nurmagomedov and then compete, and then we'll just throw the fight, minus 750 favorite.
There we go.
That's how you make money.
Low key, like if your name is Nurmagomedov, like the odds are probably like you motherfuckers could have never even seen you fight before, and they're probably like, oh, Dagestan Sambo, probably
Yeah,
good.
we're the
Yeah, that's
Chicago
literally it.
Nurmagomedovs, Midwesterners. That's even tougher.
But like if
Yeah.
you look at like just to take a really quick side note, if you look at the UFC demographics, like comparatively to the population of Dagestan, like the amount of UFC fighters they have is fucking crazy.
Yeah, and it's great. I mean, I think it's just like kind of like that whole region in general, like that, like the
Dagestan,
Central
Dag-
Asia region, pretty nuts.
I mean, just like from Dagestan alone, like just off the top, like Habib, Islam, Umar. I think Ankalaev is Dagestani, Zabit. This is one country of
Yeah,
like
shit
three
ton.
people.
Well, it's Russian.
It's
It's
in Russia,
Russian.
small area of Russia of like 3 million people. Like how many elite fighters they have is actually crazy.
Well, I also think, well, this is getting into bigger socio-political context, but when all you have to do to live is fight, I mean, you're going to be really good at it.
That's true. Also, like I mean, it kind of started with Habib, and Habib's dad was kind of like Habib's dad was a big like Habib's dad trained pretty much all these guys, and now Habib trains all these guys like his dad. Like you know what I mean? Like his dad kind of put that shit on the map and set up a whole system over there.
I think it's definitely a cultural thing. Like like what Lorenzo was saying, like fighting is just in their culture over there. I think I think this is like a story I heard from somewhere. This might not even be true, but it's if if two kids are fighting in the middle of a village, like and like someone walks over, like instead of breaking up the fight, like they'll like teach them the proper technique of like how to fight. Like I think that's just like fighting is
There,
just
I
in their
think
blood
some
over
places
there.
that shit happens, but
Yeah.
I'm sure that happened. Like I wouldn't be surprised.
Habib literally wrestled a bear. Like
Yeah.
he literally wrestled a bear when he was like fucking 9. So I mean, like, what else can you say? Like
Yeah,
that was
built
all
different.
normal kids aren't wrestling bears. Like that was Habib's dad saying, "I have this really good kid that I've trained since he was 2. Let's give him the bear. Like
hmm So,
let's give him the bear."
um, for this fight, I think Nurmagomedov will win, but the line's too big. But
Yeah, I just stay away. I don't even know.
Yeah.
uh, another one is Tim Elliott versus Ulanbekov. So, I love Tim Elliott. He's such a weird fighter, and I love my weird fighters. Um, and him against what Ulanbekov.
Mhm.
I think this might be an example of where Tim Elliott's unorthodox style and his just experience will be enough to not outclass but beat Ulanbekov at plus 198. That's not a bad underdog pick, I don't think there.
I
I
don't
don't
think
know.
much of Tim Elliott personally.
I don't know much
I,
about
I agree with
Ulanbekov.
you.
So
Yeah,
I was
I,
gonna
I
say
don't know much about Ulanbekov either, but I don't think much of
I,
Tim Elliott.
I think Tim Elliott's pretty good. I think like Ulanbekov, I think I've seen a fighters do. He hasn't impressed me too much. I don't know what he I don't exactly know why he's a minus 250 favorite. I feel like it's a case of like people see Russian flag and Arabic last name, and that combination usually works out very well.
he's from Dagestani too. So for
That's what I'm
There
saying.
we go.
When you see a Russian flag with an Arabic name, like you just kind of have an idea in your head of what it's going to be. So I'm staying away from this one. I don't know enough. I know enough about Tim Elliott, but I don't know enough about Ulanbekov,
um
and I'm good on this one. There's so many better. There's just better lines all over the card.
if y- honestly, when I look at this here, I might I might just go back and bet Tim Elliott here on this line. I think Tim Elliott he's an elite of the division. And maybe Tagir Ulanbekov is an elite of the division. But just look at maybe I'm giving too much respect to the journeyman or to the gatekeepers of this division, but just look at Tim Elliott's record, man. He lost to Brandon Royval, Oscar Oscar, Davison Figueroa, Ben Wynn, Demetrius Johnson, and Mateus Nicolau, who's really good too. But we know he's only good because he beat Tim Elliott.
I mean, Tim Elliott's really
Yeah.
good. Like, I think he definitely has a chance to win this fight. Like, probably better than the line indicates. But like, it's just like I don't feel like putting money on Tim Elliott.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Tim Elliott. Um, I think the last fight we talked about. Actually, I like this fight a lot.
I'll-
Dustin Jacoby versus Michael Oleksiejczuk. I think that's a great fight.
Take
I
it
think
away.
we have 3 fights to talk about because I was gonna mention a couple more.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, let's talk about
Yeah.
this one. I like Jacoby versus Oleksiejczuk a lot. Oleksiejczuk, I was really impressed with his last fight. He knocked out this dude in the first round. I thought he showed like really good striking. He's like a really good pressure fighter. Like just like likes to get in your face with like good head movement and just box you up. Meanwhile, Jacoby's like longer fighter. I think I really like striking. Actually, I think sooner or later he's going to be ranked in that division because I think his striking is pretty top tier. That being said, I kind of like Jacoby in this fight. I think his length's going to be a problem. I think he's going to like keep Oleksiejczuk in the outside and probably beat him by decision.
So refresh my memory, because I don't know if I'm thinking about this person. Was he the person who he knocked out some guy with a really bad looking punch? As in, like, it didn't look good. It didn't even look like it was hard. It just kind of knocked him out.
No,
Okay,
no,
then
this is not the one.
I'm not thinking of the right person then.
You like for Oleksiejczuk? No, the last knockout was pretty clean.
Okay, because I
Yeah.
forget who, but it was some kickboxing like prospect that never could put it together, but then he like knocked out some guy with a really whatever looking punch. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, no, I like Jacoby in this fight, but I think this is gonna be a great fight in general.
I like Jacoby because I respect Josh's opinion, so we'll
All
go with
right, there we go.
Jacoby. Yeah.
What else are we gonna talk about?
Well,
I was
what?
gonna say we should at least first of all hit the main event of the prelim, which is Jalen Turner and Jamie Mullarkey.
Oh yeah, to be honest, I don't know much about this one.
Um, it's not like
They're both
that.
really good. Um,
They're both pretty good. They're both like interesting enough. Jalen Turner has been somewhat impressive throughout the course of his career. His last few fights have been kind of impressive because he was like earlier he's kind of a knockout guy, and then he's added a few submissions to his game. It seems his losses are only like I remember Luke knocked his ass out, but I mean, there's no shame in that.
he lost to Mafrovola, according to Sherdog. It's fine.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think he's justifiably a favorite. Jamie Mullarkey's like okay though. I think this is more of like I think there's a reason when we were talking about earlier like why Marina isn't the main event. This is why like someone's gonna probably gonna get knocked the fuck out in this fight or some at least finished because both of these guys are finishing machines and they're both kind of their records are both strange. Where like especially like Jamie Mullarkey like he's lost to people that I don't know
He lost to
like
Volkanovski. That's kind of sus.
Damn,
but like
but
Farasian
yeah, I
like I
was gonna
don't know.
say I'm looking at he lost to Faraz Ziam, which is bad.
That's what
I mean,
I'm
Faraz Ziam got massacred in his last fight. So
That's what I'm saying. That's like that's suspect. Like it's just I don't know. But then he knocked out Karma Worthy. Like I don't know. It's I think it's a good prop bet for a knockout.
You mean
um
it
all right,
doesn't go to decision or it doesn't go to?
I think that's what I was that was kind of what the biggest thing I want to talk about here because like I don't really know who the fuck's gonna win this fight. I think like it's just a I think it's a finish fight. I think it's definitely a finish fight. Actually, the under at 1.5 under is 1.5 at plus 126, and that's intriguing to me because like these guys both have a tendency to finish you like finish you somewhat quickly.
Oh, I think I don't know much about Jalen Turner, but I know a little bit about his last two opponents. Uros Medic, I remember him specifically because Joe Rogan was really high on this guy. Um, and he won his debut, and he was in the contenders. Then he gets not knocked out. He gets finished by Jalen Turner relatively quickly in a round. And then Brock Weaver's just not good. That it's as simple as that.
Yes.
He's not UFC caliber. Um, yeah, and he's also I think has dogs that fight each other, or he does dog fighting too. So yeah,
I'm gonna go with Jalen Turner just because of the fact that Jamie Mullarkey lost to Faraz Ziam.
that's fair. Um,
I definitely think Jalen's a. I think I just I like betting on a finish. Betting on a finish. I don't have the odds. There's no odds on FanDuel for it, but I think betting like this fight to be finished would be a good parlay piece if it's anywhere around -3, -4, -500. Like that could be a fun little parlay piece because this is not going the distance. If like
um,
both these guys finish their wins. I was gonna
Okay,
say last one quick. Ludovic Klein is an underdog. I like him, specifically because he kind of looked like shit in his last couple fights, and he's now like he was like somewhat promising, and now he's on a 2 fight losing streak, and I think he really needs one, and he's fighting Devonte Smith, who is just not very good. So
okay.
I
there we
could break
go.
it. get down more, but let's just keep it quick and just say Ludwig Klein at plus 140 seems interesting.
Okay.
All right, perfect. We should probably keep these shorter.
I mean, this was
way.
a pretty. There was a lot to go into on this one, so.
I think
Yeah.
it's also a main event, whatever.
And it's a big card, and we'll have timestamps too, so we'll have time codes.
All right. All right. Yeah, let's go to our bets. So I have Masvidal money line plus 260. Putting 2 units down on that. Mitchell money line minus 160. Putting 3 down on that. I have Greg Hardy round 1 or 2 knockout
Nice.
at plus 370. Putting down 2 on that, and Mariya Agapova, Kevin Holland parlay at plus 101. Putting down 3 units on that.
I think those are all very solid bets. Yeah.
All right, Alex, you want to go?
All right, my turn.
Yeah.
All right, let's start with the main event. I'm going for this fight will not go the distance at plus 100, so even money. I'll put all the bets in. I'll tell you the units in a sec. I'm still breaking it down. And
Wait, what's the
then
odds for not going this distance?
even plus 100, straight up even.
Okay.
Then we're going to do the good old parlay. We're gonna do RDA, Kevin Holland. We're gonna try a big one tonight. We're gonna try RDA, Kevin Holland, and where the fuck is it? Marina. I can't find her on the thing. I want to see the odds. There we go. That is plus 176. So it's Marina, Kevin Holland, and RDA all on the money line.
Okay.
Actually, I think I'm only gonna do 3 bets.
All right.
Nice.
And actually, you know what? Let me change that. I'm having a change of heart. I want to split that up a little more because shit can happen. Parlay 1 is Kevin Holland RDA at plus 101. And parlay 2 is Kevin Holland Marina Rodriguez at minus 124.
Okay.
Just in case, because Kevin Holland, I think, is pretty. He should win this fight for sure. And then the other 2, now I'm a little more.
All right. What are you?
Your units.
What are you putting down?
1 second. I'm gonna put one more bet, and then I'm gonna put Ludwig Klein on the money line at plus 138.
Nice.
Ludwig Klein on the money line, yeah, plus 138. So we're gonna do 2.5 units each for those parlays, and then we're gonna do 2 units for 2 units for Ludwig and 3 units for the main event bet.
All right, great. Lorenzo.
So mine is Colby Covington. I actually changed up the units a bit.
Wait, this is retarded.
Half a unit because
What?
half a unit. I don't think it's worth it. It's the odds are too great or too high.
All right, wait. Sorry, you didn't say it.
What?
You didn't say what.
Colby Covington money line minus 340. Half a unit. I couldn't figure out a good way for him to win, to be honest. RDA 4.5 units money line minus 188. Then we have some parlays. Umar, Colby, Marina, Holland 165, and then Rodriguez, RDA, Colby 173, both 2.5 units. So
All right, those are our bets, and those are cold takes. Like, comment, subscribe.
peace, y'all.